Hello everyone, let's talk about Research Report 2 over Kurt Vonnegut. Hopefully before you've watched this video you have read through everything in the module, including the videos and the writing resources, and that you've done the discussion board over MLA versus APA. For this essay you will use APA style. Just like previously on this essay, if you do not follow the formatting guidelines that I've set forth, you will lose massive points on your grade, so please make sure you take the time to do it and do it correctly. As always, we begin with our reminder that there is no AI or writing helper tools on this essay. Many of you were caught out on that last time around, so don't do it again. Those of you who didn't do it, don't think you're going to start getting away with it now. For this essay, you're going to choose one of the prompts below, and you can write about either Harrison Bergeron or To Be or Not to Be. It's 1,000 to 1,500 words, research-based, and you must use at least 2 additional academic sources that you get through the library's databases, not popular or commercial sources. You must have your Vonnegut story, 2 academic sources for a total of 3 sources total. You must have direct quotes from each of them. You may use more sources or more quotes that you've paraphrased, but you have to have at least 3 direct quotes, 1 from the story and 2 from other academic sources. It has to be done in APA format, and it will be submitted here through the Research Report 2 link. It must be a doc, docx, or PDF only. Any other file type will not be accepted. All right, for your prompt, you may choose to write about Harrison Bergeron, thinking about Vonnegut building his world where control is enforced through the rules, through performance, and through visible corrections, rather than through persuasion. So write an analysis of how does he use setting details, public spectacle, and tone to show how this control is maintained, and what effect does it have on the reader's understanding of the society. You should examine at least 2 of these, maybe some other things, other points if you'd like. Look at rules, enforcement, and visible consequences. Look at tone, exaggeration, and irony. Maybe symbols or repeated details, objects, broadcasts, handicaps, character roles and how they accept or resist their expectations, pacing and how quickly events can change and shift focus. Remember to use academic research to support your analysis and keep your focus on how the system operates within the story itself. Your second choice on what to write about here will be over To Be or Not to Be. This is where Vonnegut presents high-stakes decisions in a very calm, procedural environment, and it forces readers to confront how systems shape human choices. So you're going to write about whether or how Vonnegut uses dialogue and setting and characterization to show the human impact of a system that treats life and death decisions as just mundane, routine things. Look at least 2 of these elements, the dialogue and what is said versus what is not said, the tone and the emotional restraint, the setting as a controlled and normal space, character reactions or limitations or pressures, and ethical tension created through ordinary procedures. So you're going to do your research analysis. Your research focus here will be on decision-making, institutional systems, moral reasoning, and again, you're going to keep your discussion in the story's internal logic rather than contemporary political debates. We are not talking about what's going on in our world today that we live in. We are seeing how this literature approached this topic at the time it was written. Your third choice today is to write about either story, looking at how Vonnegut creates meaning through a small set of very deliberate craft choices that guide how readers interpret the situation. So which single craft choice most shapes your judgment as the reader of the story's world and how it functions across key moments in the text? So you could look at tone, you could look at structure and pacing, at point of view and what readers are allowed to notice, at symbolism or repeated details, dialogue patterns, what they reveal, and then you'll use some research to help guide your thinking about how authors' choices in their writing focuses meaning and interpretation. Again, this is not your personal opinion. This is focused on the text, and you need to make sure that you keep it focused on that specifically. This paper will be evaluated on your focus and your purpose, on your text evidence, on the quality of your research. Are you using credible sources, and do they make sense for what you're trying to say? I'll be looking at your explanation and your insight, your hows and your whys. The organization, does it flow well? Does it have logical structure? Do you have good paragraphs with development and clear topic sentences. I'll be looking at your style, your academic tone, your voice, your sentence fluency, and of course all the standard things like grammar and punctuation, spelling. And then of course I'll look at your APA, and is it following the APA outline and instructions? Does it meet the expectations there? Again, you will have automatic deductions if you have any of these things incorrect. You must have proper APA formatting. You must have a references, not a works cited page. You must have the required minimum number of sources and the required direct quotes from the primary text. Before you submit, make sure you check for each of these things. Do not just summarize the plot. Assume your reader already knows the story. Your job here is to analyze it. Do not use first person. This is not about you. Do not use signal phrases or narration. This paper discusses, this paper addresses, we will delve into, none of that kind of thing. Don't use any subheadings in this paper. This is a very common problem in APA, but for the length of our paper, you do not need any additional subheadings. Don't use wiki, student papers, homework helper websites, free essay sites, non-academic websites. Don't use any of those as sources. Don't use research as a decoration. Make sure that every source you use is helping to explain what you're trying to say. Make sure your sources are integrated smoothly, and don't use any that are longer than 40 words. Less is more here. Stay specific. Any vague or generalized statements are going to reduce your grade. Make sure you give your paper an interesting title. Don't just call it Research Report 2 or Vonnegut or To Be or Not to Be or Understanding Vonnegut. Give it an interesting title, something that would make someone want to read it if they saw it in a table of contents. Make sure you have it in the proper file format, and remember that you need to submit your very best work. This is not a submit, get feedback, revise. This is your final best work. Remember that there are resources here for APA, and you can also use the Student Success Center on campus or online to get any additional tutoring or writing support you might need. Make sure that you remember that in APA, the citation comes directly after the quote, not at the end of the sentence like it does in MLA. In APA, we use dates in our citations. You only use a page number if you're directly quoting. You do not use a page number if you're paraphrasing. And you have a cover page, which you did not have in MLA, and you have a references page rather than a works cited. So make sure you're keeping all of these things in mind, and if you have any questions, please let me know.